Should I be giving tarot readings to other people? And if so, what qualifies me to be giving these readings? 2 points I'll mention first. Firstly, to be clear, I'm only offering readings for free in groups I'm a part of. Typically, these are online groups, although occasionally I may offer a reading to a friend when we're meeting up in person. Typically, I'm just announcing that I have energy and space to be able to give readings, and anyone is free to message me and request a reading from me. I understand that if I were to be charging for readings, there's a lot of different moral and ethical dilemmas to consider if I were to be charging versus offering them for free. Secondly, I want to be clear, I'm not fishing for compliments. I'm not looking for comments that are like, oh, but you're so good at reading, you should totally do it. Or, oh, you're so smart, you're so this, that, like all these compliments. These are points and issues that I'm genuinely considering and just reflecting on as I continue offering readings for other people. The first point to consider is that maybe I shouldn't be giving readings because I don't have any psychic abilities. I don't have any connection to spirit or spirit guides or really the greater universe or the divine or any of those things. To be clear, as someone who's atheist or agnostic, I guess I'm just saying that I don't have any experiences that have led me to believe that I actually have any connection with spirits or deities or any of those things, anything or any being that's otherworldly or ethereal. Another point to consider is that maybe I don't have that many life experiences that qualify me to be able to give readings and possibly life experience or life advice to other people. For example, I'm 28, and occasionally I may get reading requests from people who are older than me, or maybe readings that people are requesting are about topics and issues and experiences that I've never had or I've never imagined. I feel like compared to many other people my age, I feel like the amount of life experiences that I have, or I guess the excitement, the grandiosity of those experiences is just not as grand or as interesting as what some other people out there have experienced. I've never had to move cross country, for example. I've never had to pivot my career, at least not yet. So it makes me wonder, if I don't have many actual lived life experiences to draw from, am I qualified to be giving readings for other people? I just feel like the life that I currently live is relatively simple, maybe stable, maybe a bit boring. And leading to the next point to consider, 2 common questions that people usually ask are about love and finances. Like, how should I find love? What's coming for me in love? How can I improve my financial situation? How can I find financial security? I feel like in these realms, I don't have any personal experiences to draw from. I've been in a serious relationship for my entire adult life, and I've never had to face the dilemmas, the hopes and fears and roller coasters of dating. I've never experienced what it's like to be in multiple relationships, whether sequentially or at the same time. For finances, I've never experienced the need to pick up a second job or to look for a job that isn't in my industry or my field of choice. I wonder if, because I don't have these life experiences to actually draw from myself, the message that I'm giving in the reading might feel hollow. I wonder if it just comes off like, you go girl, all you need to do is be more bold in your dating approaches. But what if they have already tried being more bold? What if they've already tried multiple different ways of looking for dates and none of them have still panned out? What sort of reading or answer would I be able to give to them that would help them land a successful date? I worry that because I don't have actual lived experiences in these topics or these other areas of life, for example, what if the message I'm delivering in this reading is coming across inaccurate or hollow? How can I make this reading practical and applicable and help this person land a date and find success? But now let's look at it a different way. Here's some counterpoints to these earlier points. I feel like if I had a friend telling me these things, that they felt like unqualified to give readings, here's what I would consider and I would tell them in return. If you don't have psychic ability, you can still read the cards. In that case, instead of psychic or spiritual ability, what would you be able to draw from instead? For me, I know that I can draw from my own experiences, what I understand about the world through my own experiences and my own outlook. I can speculate on what might happen based on what I've experienced or what I've seen other people experience. I can draw from the cards themselves on the table, because at the end of the day, a tarot reading is all about drawing cards and laying them on the table and weaving together a message based off of the cards and based off of what I know about the cards. Part of what makes a tarot reading interesting, in my opinion, is the fact that I'm trying to weave a story together in the cards, rather than just trying to give a single concise, 3-word answer. And if I don't have the experiences laid out in the querent's question, I can at least still listen to the querent. I can ask them clarifying questions and just understand more what is it that they're coming from and what is it they're trying to ask. Secondly, I recognize that there are reasons why someone would want to seek out a tarot reading versus posting on a group or a forum or talking to a friend who already knows their situation. If someone really wanted dating advice, they could probably go on any dating groups or dating YouTube channels or ask a friend on how best to approach their situation. But when it comes to a tarot reading, there's something magical about the way that you just really don't know what's going to come out on the table. So maybe the querent is looking for a nudge in a certain direction, in any direction. They're open to any possibilities that they haven't considered before. Perhaps more important than just getting an answer, the querent just wants a space to open up and share this vulnerable question that's been on their mind. I experienced this a few months back at one of our tarot meetups. We were doing some practice readings, and my friend decided to do a practice reading for me. She asked me if I had a question in my mind for the reading, and it was strange. I felt like preparing for that reading, knowing that it was a practice reading. I was prepared to just say, oh, I just want a general message, or I don't know, just a message about my relationship or my week ahead. But when my friend had the cards in front of her as she was shuffling the deck, and she asked me what question I wanted to ask, a question involuntarily bubbled up from the inside of my heart up to the surface. And a part of me still wanted to just go for the general message, go for the easy way out. Just ask the easy question, general message, leave it at that. Upon being prompted for a question for this reading, I felt like I wanted to be vulnerable. I felt like I wanted to ask this question, to share this issue that I had been holding in, that I didn't realize I'd been holding in. And the reading went fantastically. My friend gave me a wonderful reading, and the people around at the meetup were also so supportive, and they all thanked me for being vulnerable and sharing what was on my heart. And so I find that that is part of the magic of a tarot reading, whether or not the reader is spiritual or psychic, whether or not the reader has therapeutic training or not. I find that when people are given the space and are prompted to share something that is on their mind and on their heart, people would like to open up and be vulnerable. And that's very magical. So there is some magic and some comfort that only the sacred space provided by a tarot reading can provide, as opposed to this person just posting on a forum or asking a friend. And the third counterpoint that I should consider is that I shouldn't discount the experiences that I have experienced in life. Even though I haven't moved cross country or had to pivot careers, I have experienced leaving toxic workplaces, and I have experienced toxic coworkers. I have experienced arguments and falling outs with friends, and I have experienced trying to maintain a relationship of 5+ years, almost 10 years really. I've experienced trying to navigate rocky relationships with my parents, building and rebuilding and deconstructing and rebuilding again. And in addition to my experiences, the lens, the way that I see the world also factors into my tarot readings and how I'm delivering the message to the querent. Whenever I'm writing up and delivering tarot readings, it's important to me that I try to help people figure out what beliefs they're holding on to that aren't serving them anymore. I'm looking for ways to acknowledge and validate their efforts, to remind them like, hey, look, you made it this far with what you had. That's amazing, and you need to acknowledge that. I'm looking for ways to help them break down their struggles and their obstacles and find power within, find motivation, find the courage within them to be able to tackle these obstacles. My overall hope and intention with this reading is to help the querent feel empowered, to feel motivated, or at the very least, to feel comforted. That you're not alone, that I see you and I hear you. And I hear that you're working so hard to try to get to a better place, and you need to acknowledge your own efforts too. I have experienced what it's felt like to feel depressed, to feel defeated, to feel like your goals are so far away, to feel hopeless, to feel like your struggles, your obstacles are just so big, and how can you ever get through them? So even though I may not personally experience or always 100% relate to these things that my querents are asking, I feel that I can at least provide a safe space, and I can try to frame my readings in a way that helps them feel more motivated and comforted and empowered. So to close out, there are 3 keywords or 3 pillars, 3 values I want to mention that I like to tie into my readings. The pillars are responsibility, intention, and trust. With responsibility, I understand that tarot readings come with some sort of a responsibility. I want to be responsible with the words that I say and the way that I deliver my message. I don't want to just be flippantly giving advice just out of nowhere, giving like ungrounded advice like, oh, just be positive or just try harder. And I wouldn't want to advise things like, oh, just leave your job or just leave your relationship, as if it's so easy to do and has no consequences whatsoever. I understand that people are placing their trust in the reader to give them a message that they can understand and they can integrate into their lives. And so I want to make sure that I am responsible with what I say and how I say it. Next, with intention, I want to remember that my intention is to help the querent feel empowered, or at least comforted. And this intention influences the way that I frame the reading. Perhaps the way that I lay out the cards, or the spread positions that I choose, or the topics I choose to cover in the reading. My intention for wanting to help the querent feel empowered or comforted helps remind me to have compassion for what the querent is going through. I know that some readers have mentioned that they are tired of only receiving questions about love and dating and relationships. I feel like if I ever get in that state of mind, firstly, I should take a break from doing readings for other people. And secondly, it helps me to remember that even though, yeah, maybe there's a lot of relationship or dating questions, but these are questions that people find important to them. These are issues that are important for people, that are in their hearts. And my intention to help people feel motivated or empowered or comforted guides me to want to help people remember their inherent power, to help them feel like, hey, they can find love. They gotta keep trying, they're gonna get it on the next try maybe, or maybe the try after that. To just keep feeling motivated and courageous enough to push forward through their obstacles. And thirdly, with trust, I have to trust that the queerants know that they're not getting actual financial help or legal help or like dating coach help. Trust that they know that this is just a tarot reading. This is just a sacred space, a magical space for us to hold their issue together and help them find a way forward. I have to trust that I'm doing this reading and delivering it only to the best of my ability. Perhaps all the queerant needs from me is not some reassurance that I am psychically inclined, or a testimonial or proof that I know the cards so well and I'm so qualified to do readings. But really, what queerants might want from me is just a space for me to read cards and give them an answer, give them suggestions, a nudge in a different direction. Like, all I can do is just pull cards, read the cards based on what I know of tarot, tie the cards into my own speculations and experiences and how I see the world, and just provide a safe space, a magical space for queerants to just lay out their issues. I've been reading and studying tarot for 3 years. I am definitely not a professional, but what I do know is that I do have a passion for weaving stories into the cards and for just wanting to connect people together. I have been doing readings for people as early as 3 to 4 months from when I started up until now, 3 years in. Even when I was just 5 months into tarot, I was already ready to start doing readings for other people. Not because I thought that the readings were super great or super profound, but more just because I really like drawing cards and looking at images and weaving them together into a story, and just delivering, hopefully, a comforting message or empowering message to someone out there. I think the magical sacred space that is created from doing a tarot reading, whether it is a casual, online, just DM'd tarot reading, or if it's a reading where someone has taken the time to actually create and describe the space that they're creating, there's just so much magic to be held there. This magic in this moment of two people connecting together over this issue of vulnerability and just try to find our way in the world. If any of these questions or ethical, moral dilemmas have come to your mind, I'd love to hear about them too. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for watching. Bye!